A 1-2 punch with Kayla Beaver, the senior. You have Jocelyn Brisky, the freshman, who will mix speeds with a great changeup and then also work with her drop and her curveball. What makes her so good is her ability to go up and down in the zone with her rise and her drop, throwing a little screw every now and then too, but good mix for for Jocelyn Brisky. And when you look at her pitch distribution, about 50% of the time she will throw that drop ball. That's her go-to pitch. Likes to spread the zone north and south. Will throw with good velocity, 64 to 67.
In the dirt for ball one to Talia Thomas, starting right fielder from Denver, North Carolina. Small town for Thomas. Population less than 2,800. There are more people in the stadium today than are in the population of her hometown, Denver, North Carolina. And she told us she was just so excited, Amanda, to be playing here at the Tuscaloosa Regional. Seems to be a common theme for all of these teams, including the Crimson Tide.
They know the history here and see it on TV, and well, this has been one of the premier college softball venues in all of Division I softball. It's tough to play here though, because a lot of fans are rooting for the opposing team, not you.
Season attendance over 100,000 for the second year in a row here at the Rhodes House. 2-2 count. Jocelyn Brisky to Thomas. Flared into foul territory, one down. Caught by Emma Broadfoot at first base.
And this is a team and offense with the USC Upstate that have a lot of speed. Coming into this game, over 160 stolen bases, 60 infield hits, close to 20 bunt for hits. We saw Southeastern Louisiana thrive with their speed in game one, and USC Upstate wants to do the same thing.
Well, they are third in the NCAA in stolen bases. Southeastern Louisiana, who we just saw take down Clemson, is first. As Alana Deal digs in. And this is a USC Upstate team that has a bit of a different offense than we've seen in years past. Chris Hawkins said he compares his offense to gnats in your face. We're just that annoying team that doesn't go away. Whereas in years past, they've maybe had a little bit more bop in the bat. He's had teams with 80 home runs in a season. That is not this USC Upstate team. Deal right back to Brisky. 2 down in the first. And now Celeste Lorenzo. It is a youthful USC Upstate team. De Lorenzo, one of a handful of seniors, but they had to replace 5-6 starters from last year's team, including 4 of their top 5 hitters. They go down 1, 2, 3 in the first. The freshman Jocelyn.
Sierra Manis is going to throw with good velocity, throw a curveball, drop. Anxious to see her play. I mean, we have 2 freshmen going at it. Freshman versus freshman pitching matchup for this one.
Kenley Cahalan leads it off for the Crimson Tide. Tide this year as a team hit .251. That is 20 points below what they hit last year en route to the Women's College World Series. But in the last week and a half plus, they have spent a lot of time working on situational hitting. They have been off since May 8th after losing to LSU in the SEC tournament. And their players, sorry, Amanda, their players said it feels like we've been off for 2 weeks.
Well, and then they had a 14-inning game versus LSU, so it was like they played 2 games when they were there at the SEC tournament and won. And, you know, in that game, too, Coach Murphy had said the same kind of mindset going into the SEC tournament, the quote-unquote 3rd season, with an opening day mindset, that feel where you don't have any stats, whether you've had a great season up to that point or a bad season up to that point, everything kind of starting over.
Off the glove of Manis at short, it's Deal, and the stretch at first made by Cassie Norris. 1 down.
Talked about Sierra Manis, and she'll throw with good velocity. Throw a curve and a backdoor curve, also mix in a drop and a rise. So throw a little bit of everything. I'm interested to get a good feel for what Sierra Manis is throwing today. What strength comes out for her today in her freshman debut in the NCAA tournament.
Here is Kristen White. Crazy shift in the infield for White.
Coach Hawkins said that they'll play some different defensive looks, so they're bringing in their second baseman, Abby Polk, to be in close to Sierra Manis. And then Cassie Norris is well beyond the first base bag. And you see, too, that if a bunt is laid down the first base side, that's Abby Polk that's going to be covering on that bunt. Kristen White has a lot of speed, triple threat, has a lot of different tools. And USC Upstate having to respect that speed of hers.
White to third, and it bounces off the glove of Celeste Lorenzo. And the Tide are aboard in the bottom of the first.
Tough to handle with the bounce right there. Kind of got an in-between hop, Celeste De Lorenzo did, and want to either get that long hop or the short hop. And it looked like she was going to wait back and then thought at the last minute, oh, she's fast, I got to go get that short hop, and got caught in between.
You want to pay attention when Kristen White is aboard. Had 14 stolen bags last year, only 5 this year, and has attempted just 1 stolen base in the last 18 games. But it's early, and a capable hitter, Callie Hevelin, at the dish for Alabama.
I've seen teams take different approaches because of the rule change, with being able to review the runner leaving early on the pitch on a steal. And not saying that that is why we didn't ask Coach Murphy, hey, why has Kristen White stolen less base or fewer bases this year? But we've heard that from other coaches that have affected their stolen base totals, that just not able to run as much. They don't want to get called out.
Hevelin to second, a tap of the bag from Polk, and turns a solo double play to end the inning for Upstate.
This teams have made it to the Women's College World Series, and they're actually 3 in 1 year in 2022.
Fly ball to center, and on the run is Kristen White making the play.
It's a great play by Kristen White, and a really good swing by USC Upstate that I know will make their coaching staff and their dugout happy. But Kristen White was able to get such a good jump on this ball. It was a ball that was trying to get into that gap, and Kristen White can cover so much ground both to her left and to her right.
Denver Lauer at the plate for the Spartans. And you reference unseeded teams making it to Oklahoma City. We had an unseeded team win our first game. Now, of course, they were both unseeded, but it was a huge upset. Southeastern Louisiana taking down a Clemson team who has been seeded each of the last 2 years. And now Upstate trying to do that to Alabama. Chris Hawkins has been the head coach for 31 years. And in addition to his duties as the head softball coach, he's also the associate athletic director. So proud of what his team has accomplished this year with lesser resources than many other teams around the country, certainly in this regional. A real David versus Goliath here in the first round against the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yeah, he had talked about how after COVID they lost 1,000 students at their school and operating budgets had been cut, but he said that this team is the most special team that he's had because we got here with 1/10 of what everyone else is here with. And he called it a grind. You know, for us to be able to grind through this and get here is so special, and nothing he felt like is going to beat this team making it to the NCAA tournament.
8th pitch of the at-bat. In the dirt for a ball, and the first hitter is aboard for either team. I beg your pardon. First hit is aboard for USC Upstate this afternoon.
You have to be really careful if you're Riley Valentine and be aware of how many stolen bases that Denver Lauer has. 43 stolen bases, leads the team.
Abigail Pippin at the plate. Well, we thought we would see a lot of stolen bases in the first game, with Southeastern Louisiana leading the country in stolen bags. We saw a couple, but certainly Upstate very capable, as capable as the Lady Lions here against Alabama. Kendall Clark is there in right field, 2 down. Don't you feel, Amanda, that Clemson's defense just felt the pressure?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Clemson and Alabama have not had.
Throw down not in time, pulling Kenley Cahalan off the bag. The stolen base for Denver Lauer.
Got a good jump, and then it's all about the head-first dive to get under the tag and then wrap her fingers around the base to stay on the base, move herself in a scoring position.
Lauer broke the program record last year with 47 stolen bases. Now has 113 in her career. And you know, back to that point about Southeastern Louisiana applying pressure to a Clemson team whose defense hasn't been quite as strong this year. Similar dynamic in this game. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Brisky closes the door on the Spartans in inning number. And South Carolina rallying to beat Utah, who lost in the Pac-12 tournament championship game to UCLA. Goes down 2-1.
Well, the biggest shocker to me is by far that Miami, Ohio got shut out. 159 home runs that they've hit. They're the #1 scoring team, not just left in the tournament, in the nation, scoring over 9 runs per game. And the fact that Virginia shut them out, they did not get 1 run on the board, nevertheless hit a home run. I mean, that's a big-time shocker. And Southeastern Louisiana coming in here and taking one from Clemson. I think both of those are the games that got a lot of attention for sure.
Winner of this game will get Southeastern tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern time. And the loser will face Clemson in our first elimination game of the weekend. Sierra Manis, the freshman, back in the circle for Upstate. Fly ball center field. Back on it is Lauer and makes the catch. Heels against the track, 1 down.
Been watching some games and 7 innings live, and of course our games, and I don't feel like I've seen a lot of home runs early so far. Now, I've not been locked in as I'd like to be to every game because we've been here, but I don't feel like there's been a ton of home runs hit yet.
But you set the over-under at 4 for our regional, which in today's day of softball is not very many for 4 teams who are going to play a combined 6, maybe even 7 games this weekend.
All of these teams not really big home run hitting teams. It's interesting how each region kind of starts to take its own identity. And for our region, it was a lot about pitching, a lot about stolen bases, and not a lot about great fielding percentages and defense. When you look at all the numbers, this region had one of the worst combined fielding percentages out of all the regions, if not the worst.
Which is why we felt speed could be so influential.
That's right.
And why Alabama really has to defensively today be sharp against an Upstate team that is 3rd in the country in stolen bags. 1-2 count to Jenna Johnson. And it bounces foul. Johnson a high hopper to 3rd. Play made by DiLorenzo, 2 down.
You mentioned how Coach Hawkins at USC Upstate, their head coach, their offense had changed, but really it came down to, I think, he started to recruit differently. That they started to recruit defense. They don't recruit offense. And so the players that he gets is more so dictated by defense. And I don't think that you hear about that all the time, especially in this day and age. Usually, or I should say not usually, but a lot of coaches will recruit more to offense and grab quite a few shortstops that can then go on to play other positions. You hear about that a lot.
It's like he's out there watching a Little League game with absolutely no horse in the race. This program, fresh off their first ever Big South tournament title and into the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2017. He was that laid back with us yesterday when we had a chance to chat with him and his team, and they kind of carry that vibe too. I've never seen a head coach this relaxed though. Get him a lounge chair.
First tournament appearance since 2017, but he's been here multiple times.
Yep. They went 5 years in a row in the Atlantic Sun Conference.
And he says he really challenges his players in their defensive practices.
Two-one is up the middle. Diving play by Deal won't get there, and the first base hit of the day for the Crimson Tide.
This pitch bled back over the heart of the plate. You see Pippin was set up more on the outside corner. If that would have actually hit the corner, it would have been a ground ball out, but it bled more over the plate. Dowling took advantage of that mistake. It would hit right back up the middle. I want her to start feeling a little better about herself at the plate. That'd mean world for this offense.
Well, she passes the bat with 2 outs to her senior teammate, Emma Broadfoot. One of 9 seniors on the roster for the Tide. More than any other year Patrick Murphy can remember since taking over the program in 1999. And with all of that experience returning, Amanda, remember this is a team that made the Women's College World Series a year ago. They returned 7 starters from that Women's College World Series team. Trying to put it together here in the regional. Broadfoot delivers a base hit up the middle. And Bailey Dowling moves into scoring position.
It's another one of those pitches that just did not find a corner. It was supposed to be on the outside corner, especially with 2 strikes. Bleeds back over the middle, and Emma Broadfoot hits that hard. Trying to be a drop ball right at the knees and live on the edges, and too much on the plate. And Alabama has hit a couple of mistakes now.
Well, if you throw a mistake to Abby Dukeshire, she can make you pay. Tied for the team lead with 6 home runs, 30 runs batted in what has been a monster sophomore year for the Kindred, North Dakota native. Line drive left field at the wall, and it is foul for Abby Dukeshire.
It was foul, but these fans really like that swing. I'll tell you what, that just like injected some energy into their veins.
Well, their offense has struggled, Amanda. Shut out 6 of the last 10 games, but Patrick Murphy told us you can either go 2 ways when you battle adversity. You can go south or you can go north, and he feels like his team is primed to take off in the NCAA tournament. Ball in the dirt, blocked well by Abigail Pippin, and a 2-1 count now to Dukeshire. Dukeshire to right field. Back on it is Thomas, and she will make the catch to end the inning. Sierra Manis pitches around a pair of 2-out singles. Still scoreless. As Abby Polk has a diving play made by Callie Hevelin. 1 down in the 3rd.
Read by Hevelin, and these can be really tricky and end up falling, but run it well off the bat, and having to lay out, but do what you got to do. Keep that ball in your glove and get that out.
There's some pretty slick defense by this Crimson Tide infield. In the 9th spot, it's the sophomore Amy Johnson. One of 6 freshmen or sophomores who have been significant contributors either in the field or in the circle this year for Chris Hawkins. And he compared it to his 2013 team, Amanda, who helped get Upstate to the NCAA tournament out of the A-Sun. A lot of freshmen on that team. That started a run of 5 consecutive trips to the NCAAs. And he feels like with all the youth on this roster, this could be the catalyst for another deep run, this time coming out of the Big South.
Well, it's all about winning that tournament like they did. They had lost it in a walk-off last year, and in the past 3 years, they had been in 2nd or 3rd place, and they really wanted to win that tournament.
Jocelyn Brisky with her 2nd strikeout.
Going with a low rise here that just sits on the outside corner. Also moves a little bit away from Amy Johnson. First time through, Jocelyn Brisky looks really smooth, really confident, using all of her pitches. She entered into that 14-inning game in the SEC tournament, came in relief of Kayla Beaver, basically split the game. I believe they went 7-7. Jocelyn Brisky said, I feel like I could have thrown another 5 or 6 innings.
Talia Thomas is foul.
Because when you watch her, she throws with what looks like effortlessly. It just doesn't look really challenging for her. She just is so smooth, still aggressive, don't get me wrong, and powerful, but it's just the way that she looks, especially with her demeanor when she's out there. She just doesn't ever look phased, no matter what's going on.
Patrick Murphy said she might be the most mature freshman he's ever had. That's saying a lot for a coach who has won a national championship and has been to the NCAA tournament 25 years in a row. 0-2 strikeout, and that is back-to-back for Jocelyn Brisky.
She's just gotten better as this season has that he's done it. Kind of a lift of positivity, and it makes you feel good. And you have to open it up on your own. So you can do it in your car, at your apartment, wherever you want, but read each one and just kind of lifts you up.
Line drive scorched into the mid of Cassie Norris. Off the bat of Riley Valentine, one down. Patrick Murphy told us that he got the idea from an organization called Capturing Kids' Hearts. And he told us that that motto has become their motto in the program. Capture the heart to change the person. Ground ball to third. Celeste Lorenzo, a long throw, and how about this stretch by Cassie Norris? 2 down.
Yeah, great hustle by Kinley Cahalan to get down the line, and De Lorenzo had a long throw. Taking that final hop, though, is what put her into a little bit of a bind and what made that play so close at first base. Great call. Another great call at first base by our first base umpire. She was out.
First base umpires have been tested today. Sean Schumacher is over at first for this game. But particularly with all the speed that we have in this regional. A lot of bang-bang plays at that first base bag.
We pointed out when Kristen White was up to bat last, the defensive shift on the infield, and now actually Abby Polk will move from where she was more on the first base side of things to now she's on the left side of the field. On the infield to the third base side, you see it. That's Abby Polk right up the middle of the field. She's a second baseman. So 3 infielders on the left side. Looks like she might move again. Actually, no, she's kind of wandering. But also a big outfield shift with where Amy Johnson is, the left fielder. Denver Lauer, the center fielder. She's on the left side in left center field. And Talia Thomas basically playing right center field.
White sneaks it through the shift and into left field for a 2-out single.
Oh, Kayla Bro, the first base coach at Alabama, is absolutely going to love that Kristen White just beat that shift. Goes to more of a power slap to try to get this through the infield. Despite 3 infielders being on the left side, she beats the shift with that line drive. That is not easy to do. Major props to Kristen White for that hit.
Making the adjustment and passing the bat to Hevelin. White takes off, ball in the dirt, and no throw from Abigail Pippin. We were wondering if Kristen White would try a stolen base attempt today. Here it is in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, good pitch to run on too, because that pitch was off speed and in the dirt. She's going to get in there easily.
Her 6th stolen base of the season.
I would be really careful with how you pitch Callie Hevelin here. First base is open, and Callie Hevelin has been seeing the ball well the last couple of weeks of the season.
And this year batting nearly .290 with runners in scoring position. And as we talked about, Amanda, this Alabama offense has worked extensively in practice, particularly over the last week at situational hitting.
Last 8 games, Callie Hevelin is hitting .375, leading this team.
Got the boombox out for a little 2-out rally here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Is it a rally boombox?
It's a loud boombox. And they're looking for a loud hit here from Callie Hevelin. Hit into a double play in her first at bat. Down in the count 1-2. She had a monster game against LSU in the SEC tournament. 2 for 3 with a pair of doubles and 3 walks. Takes the 2-2 to the left side of the infield, and that is going to be a runner's interference as Alana Deal hit the deck hard, colliding with Kristen White, and she is still down. And that might have been Celeste. South Carolina Upstate and Alabama. We're now joined by 31st year head coach Chris Hawkins. Coach, Celeste DiLorenzo just took a football hit on the left side of the infield. How's she doing right now?
I think she got a little frogged in the muscle. She's fine. She's ready to go. She's on deck, actually. She's a warrior. She's not going to just fall down right now. I think she's good.
Coach, this is not your first NCAA tournament game, but it's your team's. What was your message to them pregame?
It was real simple. I said, I've told y'all so much through the thing. All I want you to do now is when a ball comes in the strike zone, hit it. When a ball's hit to you, field it. And pitchers get ahead in the count. And that's what we're going to do. And that's basically all I told them.
Coach, appreciate your time and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, guys.
Pretty simple. When a ball comes in the strike zone, hit it. Let's work from ahead. When a ball comes to you on defense, make a play. I mean, short and sweet and simple. Would expect nothing less from Coach Hawkins, which is how relaxed he is in his approach to coaching.
Well, I hope next time we interview him, he's hanging out in his lounge chair.
We should have given him the option to go there versus having to stand. But, you know, he had to go out to the third base coaching box anyway. So eventually he had to move.
He's up and at him anyway. First pitch swinging from Alana Deal, fielded it short by Kenley Cahalan, one down. Defense has been sharp for Alabama, which was a question mark coming in against the speed of SC Upstate. And still no hits for the Spartans against the freshman Jocelyn Brisky.
Being aggressive early in the count this second time through, and hard hit ball by Deal at Kenley Cahalan, and then a good swing there by DiLorenzo. Remember, she was the third baseman that just got trucked by Kristen White, who's ready to hit.
You read my mind. My question to you was going to be, how does SC Upstate adjust second time through? I think we're seeing it, right? Aggressive early in the count.
Yeah, aggressive early in the count. They had those 2 strikeouts first time through, and then Thomas struck out in her second AB, the leadoff hitter. Just trying to avoid getting to 2 strikes. A couple of good swings that they've had, too. Cassie Norris hit that hard line drive out to center field to Kristen White. And you see what even a better swing or two can do, because Jocelyn Brisky in this inning losing her command ever so slightly from that hard hit ball to shortstop and that foul ball. Got it back there though.
To second, 2 down. Kaylin DeBoer, the new head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide football program, in attendance down the third base line. Into left field, and a 1-2-3 inning for Jocelyn Brisky. Who's in college softball, Rhodes Stadium, home to the Tuscaloosa Regional. No score as we get set to start the bottom of the 4th. Patrick Murphy, kind enough to join us. Coach, Jocelyn Brisky setting down the side in back-to-back innings, hasn't allowed a hit. What's impressed you about her outing so far?
Well, first, welcome to the Rhodes house. I know this is your first time. Amanda's a pro. She's been here before, but so glad that you're both here. She has just gotten better and better and better as the week's gone along. You know, she had a little bit of an injury way back in February, worked her way out of that. And then Lance McMahon, honestly, he deserves all the credit with her. We loved her when we recruited her, and I think when you guys talked to her yesterday, you noticed that she has the maturity of a senior. And we absolutely love her demeanor, her grit, her determination, the whole thing. She's got the whole package, and she's doing really well right now.
Coach, a few hard hit balls mixed in there. What are you liking about your approach at the plate right now?
I really like Riley Valentine. You know, she hit a shot to first base. They had a nice play. Abby Dukeshire hit a shot to right field. They made a nice play. She hit a home run over here, foul by about 10 feet. Just keep hitting the ball hard. They're going to find a hole.
Coach, real quick, Babe's Donuts, what's your flavor?
Oh, boy, red velvet.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's fitting for the Crimson.
Yes,
decked out.
The best.
All right, Coach.
Thanks for being here.
Brisky has held USC Upstate to 0 hits through 4 innings. Meanwhile, offensively, Bama 1 for 4 with runners on, 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. But Amanda, as you mentioned, there's been some hard hit balls sprinkled in. And right away, first pitch swinging is Kendall Clark in her second at bat of the day. Red velvet donut. Interesting.
Sounds so good.
It sounds rich.
It does, yeah.
I'm more of a plain and simple donut type of guy.
Donut holes?
Yeah, sure. Or maybe a cake donut. Blueberry cake. You're just going to ruminate on that a little bit.
Now I'm just thinking about donuts and wondering if I'm actually going to eat one tomorrow.
1-2 count to Kendall Clark. Freshman Sierra Manis back in the circle for her 4th inning for Upstate.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that Sierra Manis did not start playing softball until she was 13. That's when she started pitching too. She was a gymnast her whole life.
Well, she didn't start playing softball till she was 13 because she was a gymnast before that. Developed a back condition and decided, you know what, I'm going to pitch because that'll be easier on the back. How? I'm not sure. As the 2-2 misses low, but she had never played softball before. Her parents didn't know anything about softball, so she learned how to pitch watching, yes, Amanda Scarborough pitching videos at home with her dad. There's Amanda on a ground ball to third. De Lorenzo across the diamond. Good to see her back at third base. 1 down. But she and her dad would watch Amanda Scarborough's pitching videos and then immediately go into the backyard, Amanda, and work on what you were instructing in the video.
It's pretty cool to hear that. It really is. And to think about the time and effort that it takes to watch the videos, to go and put the effort into the backyard, and even starting a little bit later. Like, you don't hear about pitchers very often starting at age 13. Like, I started when I was 8 or 9 years old. So that's a significant difference.
Seeing eye single for Jenna Johnson. And the 4th hit of the day for the Crimson Tide.
Jenna Johnson got a little jammed up on this pitch, but kept her hands inside. Didn't get all of it, but a good swing there by Jenna Johnson to find a hole on the right side and give this Alabama offense a little life. Also, she volunteered to pitch, by the way. It wasn't somebody saying, oh, you have to do it. Like, she volunteered to pitch because her team needed a pitcher, and she loved it ever since.
Was a state champ runner-up, Sierra Manis, whose family was so invested in her softball career that going into her senior season of high school after she had committed to SC Upstate, asked the family if they would move to Spartanburg. And so they did for her senior year of high school. Line drive up the middle and caught at second base, and the double up is there. Abby Polk turns 2 by herself for the 2nd time. Innings pitched just 42 pitches and has not given up a hit yet. Only base runner today for Upstate was a walk by this batter here, Denver Lauer, back in the 2nd inning. And this one goes off the glove at first base of Broadfoot, and covering the bag and making the out is Callie Hevelin. Great recovery by the right side of this infield.
And Callie Hevelin is moving that way anyway, reacting to the ball. And when she sees it hit off of her glove, she has to make a decision. Am I going to go for the ball, or am I going to cover first base? And they played this perfectly. Hevelin realizing that Broadfoot could get there and that she can get to first base for that out.
Amanda, we talked all week coming into this regional. Would the speed of Upstate and Southeastern disrupt what has been a down year defensively for Alabama and Clemson? So far in this game, the answer is no. Bama has looked really good defensively.
Yeah, mix the balls in the air and on the ground, too.
Up the middle, look what I found, says Jocelyn Brisky, 2 down.
And she's been so efficient, so she's gone at the hitters, thrown striker early in the count, and it keeps your defense engaged. When you're going deep into counts, a lot of 3-ball counts, a lot of full counts, the defense can have a tendency to get bored, but when you're attacking the zone, first pitch strike, second pitch strike, working from ahead, you keep your defense engaged and wanting the ball.
Double hopper to short. Gliding to make the play is Kenley Cahalan. A 6-pitch inning and 9 in a row retired for Johnner of Clemson and SC Upstate here. Still scoreless in the bottom of the 5th. Pop up right side. Foul territory and in and out of the glove of Cassie Norris. And so Emma Broadfoot will get a second chance.
This is just such a high fly ball that she's trying to track down and get under. It's like, oh, it's a little bit further behind me, and her feet are moving while she's trying to catch the ball, which is never a great thing.
This one flied in left field. Fair territory this time, and it's Amy Johnson, 1 down.
And with all 13 SEC teams getting in, the one that was semi in question going to Selection Sunday was Ole Miss. And they did enough work at the end of the season, the last few weeks of the season, to pile up some top 25, some good wins that they added to their resume as a way to be able to sneak right in.
Well, the last time Abby Dukeshire came to the plate, she hit a home run that was 10 feet foul of the pole, in the words of her head coach Patrick Murphy. Can she time up Manis this time? Dribbler to short. It's deal, 2 away.
Some quick outs for Brisky and Manis. Remember, a couple of freshmen pitching in this game with Jocelyn Brisky and Sierra Manis. 5 flyouts, 7 groundouts because of that drop ball that Manis throws, and more pitch to contact today. No strikeouts for her. Relying on her defense to make plays.
Riley Valentine in the 9 spot for Patrick Murphy. Lines it into center field and down for a base hit. The 5th base knock of the day for the Crimson Tide, and she flips the lineup over to Kenley Cahalan.
Both of these teams, their hitters are just being so aggressive early in the count. Second pitch that she sees goes down and gets that outside drop ball that Manis has continued to throw over and over again.
They need to find a way to get one of these hits without 2 outs. Amanda, 4 of their 5 hits today have come with 2 outs. And now Cahalan with an opportunity with a runner aboard and 2 down. Oh, and that got her helmet. And Cahalan up to first base. Unfazed.
And we talked to Kenley Cahalan yesterday about liking to crowd the plate, get right on top of the plate, and she said she gets hit with a lot of pitches. And she likes to crowd the plate. She knows she can turn on that inside pitch, helps make that outside pitch a little bit easier for her to hit. Ends up hitting her in the head. And now back-to-back base runners for Alabama with 2 outs.
Didn't even leave a mark.
I don't see anything on there.
Well, she told us she's always crowded the plate ever since she started playing. She's fine getting hit, and we saw it there. Taking one off the dome. And now we'll have a pinch hitter. Lauren Essman is pinch hitting in the 2 spot for Kristen White. The 5th-year senior from Kalamazoo, Michigan, making her first at-bat of the game. Missed almost all of April with a pec injury, did Lauren Essman. Still unable to pitch, but has been playing in the DP spot, and of course, coming off the bench to pinch hit. Big spot here for a Bama team that has been shut out 6 out of their last 10 games in search of their first win of the 2024 NCAA tournament. And trying to take the lead here with 2 outs and 2 on.
She has fewer opportunities than everybody, not in the everyday starting lineup, but when you look at her numbers with runners in scoring position, her average actually leads the team. The 400 average, 6 for 15 with runners in scoring position.
Esmond to short, coming in is Deal and makes the play to end the inning. Man is 6th. Matt Schumacher, Amanda Scarborough with you. And Jocelyn Brisky, the freshman, in the circle for Bama. Has set down 11 in a row, Amanda, and has not a lot of hits still against USC Upstate.
I mean, 50 pitches, and we're in the top of the 6th inning. The last 2 innings, she's only thrown 13 pitches.
And another quick out. And we will have a pinch hitter. Chris Hawkins going to his bench. Carson Shaw will hit in the 9 spot for Amy Johnson. Neither team has reached third base today. Looking for offense wherever they can find it. Earlier in the game, Amanda, you referenced Jocelyn Brisky pitching better than she has all year as of late. And the season has mattered most. Allowed 2 runs or less in her last 5 outings coming into the tournament. That lasted over 28 1/3 innings pitched. Scoreless and hitless here today. Through 5. Bouncing ball to third. Charging in is Dowling. Quickly 2 down.
Well, and what a luxury to have her. And a totally different looking pitching staff than what you saw from Alabama last year, where Montana Fouts was a headliner and she was the one that was going to throw the majority of the games. And this year it's been mostly Jocelyn Brisky stepping up late in the season behind Kayla Beaver, who transferred from Central Arkansas. And ironically, Beaver played at this Tuscaloosa Regional last year with her former team. But it's huge to not feel like you have to throw Kayla Beaver today, that you feel confident enough in the freshman that you can throw her today and save Beaver likely for tomorrow.
Well, to your point, Montana Fouts pitched 50% of Alabama's innings last year and completed 24 games by herself. That was more than 11 SEC teams had combined last season. And that was a huge question mark for Patrick Murphy's team. How do you replace her? Montana Fouts, one of the stars of the sport for the last 4 years, and he's had to do it with 2 brand new pitchers to Alabama.
And it's just being able to figure out that offensive piece. When you look at their offensive numbers, they are in triple digits in national ranks in a lot of categories, and not just triple digits, in the 200s in terms of batting average and several other categories, which just have a hard time getting this offense going. But when you get starts like this from Jocelyn Brisky and Kayla Beaver like they have, they're really tough to score against. So they felt a lot of pressure to carry the load, I would assume, but they've handled it beautifully. It's hard to go out there and know that you don't have a Miami, Ohio offense or an Oklahoma or Texas offense that's going to put 8, 9 runs on the board on average a game.
7th pitch of the at-bat, bounce to second, and a quick throw from Hevelin. 14 in a row retired. Presumably dreaming of moments like this. Playing in front of thousands in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, one of the premier venues in all of college softball. Third time through the order here for Callie Haviland.
Yeah, I'm sure this crowd could be even better too, but tough start time for Friday, 3:30. I'm sure a lot of people coming in from Birmingham and maybe surrounding areas outside of Tuscaloosa to get here for the regional.
I keep forgetting today's a work day.
Yeah.
It's a Friday.
Well, we are working, but.
You consider this work? No,
No.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
I know you don't. Only 65 pitches for Sierra Manis. The 1-2. Double hopper to short, gliding to make the play is Deal, and again Cassie Norris showing the flexibility at first base. Well, yet again, the Women's College World Series returns to Oklahoma City. Action begins Thursday, May 30th, 12 p.m. Eastern, live on ESPN. For more information on the 2024 Women's College World Series, you can go to NCAA.com, the official home of all 90 NCAA championships. Upstairs, ball one to Kendall Clark.
Talking about the quick outs for Jocelyn Brisky, but quick outs for Sierra Manis too. Just 67 pitches in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Back to Deal. 2 down. She has made the last 3 outs for SC Upstate, including the out that ended the 5th inning. And now the grad student, Jenna Johnson. Manis has induced 8 ground ball outs in this game, utilizing the defense behind her. Can she start another 2-out rally? Yes, she can. The 5th 2-out base hit of the day for the Crimson Tide.
And when Manis has gotten in trouble, it's her trying to throw this outside drop ball, and look at Pippen set up on the outside corner, and the pitch bleeds back over the middle or inner half. And so right to Johnson's swing, able to get it past to Lana Deal, which has been hard to do today. 2-out hit for Johnson.
Passes the bat to Bailey Dowling, who also has reached base safely today. On a 2-out hit, I might add. Runner goes. Throw down to second is not in time. Jenna Johnson under the tag.
I don't know how she got around that tag, because the throw looked perfect on the money to Polk, but she takes a peek and then is able to just get around the tag, slides on the outside part of the bag and stays on it. You see that fist pump because she just moved herself into scoring position.
Second stolen base of the day for Alabama. And a ground ball through the hole into left field. Fielded by Johnson. Here comes the throw. Bama takes the lead.
Two seniors coming through with 2 outs. It was Jenna Johnson that got on and stole, and then Bailey Dowling with the RBI for the go-ahead run. Turns on that inside pitch. 2 hits for Dowling in this game, and when she gets hot, that's a good sign for Alabama. Jenna Johnson was sinking score all the way, easily gets in there, but it was set up by her steal of second base, and that speed and her stealing is why she was able to score.
First time all day either team has had a runner reach third base. Jenna Johnson was not stopping. She had the green light. Patrick Murphy was sending her all the way, and Alabama in the 6th breaks the scoreless tie as Pate Kinley comes into pinch run for Dowling at first.
And crazy in this game, that is the first time a runner has reached third base in this game.
Emma Broadfoot at the plate. She too has singled with 2 outs in this game. Fly ball, right field. It is playable, and Aaliyah Thomas puts out the tie. Who scored the first run of the game? She has gone 7 innings or more in 3 of her last 5 outings. This would be the 4th in the last 6. And a first pitch struck to Alana Deal. The only SC Upstate hitter to reach base safely today came on a walk by Denver Lauer. That was back in the 2nd inning. Since then, Brisky has retired 14 in a row and done so with incredible efficiency. Just 63 pitches in the game for the freshman from Phoenix, Arizona. To short. Cahalan, 1 down. No hits, no runs. Jocelyn Brisky 2 outs away from her first career no-hitter. And an all-important first game win for the Tide. Celeste DiLorenzo ends the no-hitter in the 7th with 1 down. And the tying run is aboard for the Spartans.
It's a huge deal to not only break up the no-hitter, but to get the game-tying run on base when you have 2 outs. DiLorenzo gets her barrel down to that drop ball. Beautiful swing to break up the no-no. And most importantly, again, just try to get 60 feet closer to scoring for these last 2 outs.
And remember, it was DiLorenzo in the 3rd that had to get helped off the field after being trucked by Alabama's Kristen White. And now DiLorenzo will head to the bench as Carson Bradshaw, Morgan Langley comes into pinch run, providing the first hit of the day for SC Upstate and passing the bat to Cassie Norris. Game tying run aboard. And the Spartans down to their final 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Norris floats it into left field and down for a base hit. And the game-tying run is in scoring position for the Spartans. What a postseason for Cassie Norris. 0 for 2 in this game until that point, but Amanda had gone 5 for 12 in the Big South tournament. And her head coach, Chris Hawkins, called her the spark plug for this team. Does that hit spark a run for the Spartans in the 7th?
Think about how challenging of a situation this is actually for Beaver to come into. This is her first NCAA postseason game with Alabama. She's been in this position before, but had a different uniform on. And now you have to face Denver Lauer, who's the preseason conference player of the year pick. He's had a great season, a veteran player.
Has hit a team high 335 this year, and the rally visors are out in the SC Upstate dugout down the first base line. 2 on, 1 out, and the tying run at second base. 2-0 to Lauer.
And this team has been aggressive early in the count, but they're going to need to make Kayla Beaver find the strike zone. A drop down, well out of the zone. A rise up, well out of the zone.
Lauer to second base. Heveland, the shuffle, and the throw is in time. Double play to end the game, and Bama has its first win in the 2024 NCAA tournament. innings pitched, just 42 pitches, and has not given up a hit yet. Only base runner today for Upstate was a walk by this batter here, Denver Lauer, back in the second inning. And this one goes off the glove at first base of Broadfoot, and covering the bag and making the out is Callie Hevelin. Great recovery by the right side of this infield.
And Callie Hevelin is moving that way anyway, reacting to the ball. And when she sees it hit off of her glove, she has to make a decision. Am I going to go for the ball or am I going to cover first base? And they played this perfectly. Hevelin realizing that Broadfoot could get there and that she can get to first base for that out.
Amanda, we talked all week coming into this regional. Would the speed of Upstate and Southeastern disrupt what has been a down year defensively for Alabama and Clemson? So far in this game, the answer is no. Bama has looked really good defensively.
Yeah, makes the balls in the air and on the ground too.
Up the middle, look what I found, says Jocelyn Brisky, 2 down.
And she's been so efficient, so she's gone at the hitters, thrown striker early in the count, and it keeps your defense engaged. When you're going deep into counts, a lot of 3-ball counts, a lot of full counts, the defense can have a tendency to get bored, but when you're attacking the zone, first pitch strike, second pitch strike, working from ahead, you keep your defense engaged and wanting the ball.
Double hopper to short, gliding to make the play is Kenley Cahalan, a 6-pitch inning and 9 in a row retired for Josh.